Rival and Gravelords here, and I'm joined by Magma.
What's going on?
Just saw a really good game for the first set of tonight between Inferno and I just said it, Gravity. So Gravity looking real hot, and I actually haven't seen my team play here, Gravelords, yet. I know they're sitting at 3-1 or 2-1 at the moment, and they're looking pretty good. So I'm interested to actually see how they play going up against Rockerman's rival here.
Yeah, I definitely think it should be a good matchup. We have some familiar faces from last season's rival league, and even some familiar faces from other leagues. In fact, um, we have Case, we have Kaio, Steel Iron. We have definitely quite the lineup in this match.
Yeah, this is news to me. I think Case is subbing up apparently.
Yeah,
So that was a little unexpected. I'm not quite sure where I believe Zap is, but either way, Case a pretty solid player. So we'll have to see how they can compete against a rival here. But either way, should be a pretty good matchup as we're waiting for the Arrival boys to get on in here. Uh,
I think for sure both of these lineups are just very strong lineups, and I think out of all the leagues, definitely Rival League is one of the most competitive there are in the entire Nemesis league, and really there's no matches that it's going to go one way or the other.
Yeah, Rival League. Actually, all the leagues post season 2, so including season 3 and this one, have been rather competitive. Quality of the matches has definitely gone up since the MMRs have shifted a little bit, as there may have been a player who joined a little bit too quickly. But we're getting it worked out now, as all the players are gonna finally get in.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely the competitiveness for Nemesis at an all-time high here. And Rival League last season was pretty close. Whether it will be this season is to be determined, as we're only sitting 3 games in, but we'll have to see. So we got Steel Iron starting it off from the corner, off the backboard, and there's Kyle rushing in, forcing the double commit, as nobody on Gravelords here wanting to push. Maybe Steel waiting for Case to come in, make the challenges. Here's Case now putting the shot on. All 3 players for Arrival just kind of stuck in front of the net, but still able to get the ball away from danger. As here comes Case again, charging in, sending it far and off to the corner. And I know, Magma, you were in Rival League last season, so we got Kaio and Steel Iron and Will now. I mean, you got any good things to say about these boys?
I can say that Kaio, I remember playing against him last season. I was on a team that was really projected to go either really far or win it all, and we lost a few games in the regular season. One of the biggest ones was to Kaio. He caught us off guard. He is really one of those players that can take over a game and really just solo-handedly carry an entire series for his team.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely proven to be capable in season 3 and so far on the Gravelords roster this season. And their only loss coming to the in a game 5 loss is a good opportunity for Steel Iron, as Houdini will send that one away. But between Kaio and Steel Iron, they're going to be seasoned rival players at this point, and going to try and bring Gravelords back to a repeat championship after losing all the players on their rosters. There's Kaio there, putting one on, but again saved away from Houdini. And at the moment, Arrival's defense is holding on here.
Yeah, we're not seeing really many. Like, we just saw our first few actually dangerous shots and offensive opportunities, but for the most part, it's just been very back and forth. The teams feeling each other out. I definitely can imagine this series speeding up as it continues. Alright, seems like Bagels is having some connection issues, so take over play-by-play from here, I guess. We have Kaio shadowing Will. Case is going to take it up the backboard. Will's going to barely get beat out by Case. Can't find Steel Iron to the side. Houdini barely gets a touch. Kaio sending off the backboard. Case with the shot opportunity, but Will's going to hit away to the corner. Merely pass one. Case is going to interrupt that. Kaio hits in the air, but Will's going to take it away from him. Has it in the corner. He's going to try to put it mid, but Case is not going to let that happen. Kaio has a bit of an air dribble. Steel Iron hitting off the backboard. Case off the sidewall. Will going off the backboard, barely gets a touch.
I believe I am back.
Welcome back.
My computer is hardballing. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Still sitting at 0-0. Arrival only at one shot. Gravelords are putting all this pressure on, but they just can't seem to get it by. The Arrival defense can't find the accuracy to put their shots on. And they're going to have to try and clean this up. Otherwise, Arrival could get one easy counterattack and win this game 1 as the time's ticking down here.
Yeah, it really feels like both teams are not playing very close to the ball. What was that? I mean, that was something else. We see Houdini just fake Case, I think, and just shoots in the open net.
Yeah, and I just said it just had to be one counterattack. And that's all it took for Arrival is Gravelords, they just can't find their shots, although opportunity off the kickoff. But once again, Case not charging in quick enough. So here's Kaio sending the shot, good 50. Steel back to the middle, Steel putting the shot on, it's right at Will, but he can't get up in time, and they're going to tie it back up.
Yeah, that was just really good speed from Steel Iron. He realized Will went just way too far in the net and was also in a very uncomfortable place just in his general location of the goal. There was no back post, so he really had the entire net to shoot on.
Yeah, a little bit of, again, the accuracy, not the greatest, but the power from that ground pinch was there. But the shooting accuracy is going to be a problem heading into this overtime unless some team can find a 0-second goal here. As Case keeping the ball dangerous in front of the Arrival net, but merely getting the 50 to send it away to the side. We have overtime to start this one off, and Gravelords, they're sitting at 11 shots right now. They're 1 for 11.
Wow. I mean, as you would say in hockey, they're just getting outplayed right now, but really, it doesn't feel like the Arrival team is really doing that much worse than the Gravelords. I feel like a lot of the Gravelords shots are just like meaningless shots on well-defended nets.
Yeah, and Arrival's defense has been able to stand tall against the ones that are more high quality. Although Steel Iron, opportunity here of trying to find the double. Couldn't quite get the touch back to the middle. As now Case is going to be sitting in a 1v3. But Will not able to pounce on the opportunity quick enough. As Steel with a bit of a subpar touch in the middle. But again, the ball getting stuck in this corner here on the Gravelord side. And Arrival isn't able to put anything meaningful onto net. Steel looking for the double, not quite finding it. And Magma, are you there?
Yeah, I am. Sorry. My mic is also having issues.
It's a malt fest. That's exactly what's happening right in front of the net. But once again, Steel able to recover. Looking for the pass down to Kaio. Pass there, but shot straight roller right over to Houdini. And again, they're pounding the shots on. There's one that's finally going to go in. From Case, they finally hit their mark. And that's all they got to do. They ended the game with 14 shots.
Yeah, I felt like, really, it could have been any of these shots. Just, there's so many shots that the Gravelords were just pounding away on Arrival, but most of the shots meant nothing, and Case is finally able to find that one golden goal, slots in the top where no one can save it, and just really good shot overall from Case.
Yeah, absolute Bagner coming out. And I think Gravelords are going to be counting their lucky stars. They're going to have to fix this accuracy going into game 2 here. But on the opposite side, Arrival's got to find a way to get themselves on offense more. I mean, they're 10 shots behind the Gravelords here for game 1 and just not able to find these transitions off of defense. They're coming up with the saves, but not able to put anything meaningful onto offense themselves other than that one great fake coming out from Houdini.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of midfield control coming out from the Gravelords, and I think Arrival needs to start off with just taking control of the midfield boost pads, both the ones on the sides and the small ones, and just overall control the entire midfield. Walk the Gravelords into their half and really just choke them out of boost, get some boost steals on even the Gravelord side, and eventually force a mistake and just get more shots on net in general.
Yeah, and bringing it over to Case here for a second, the challenger sub up for this matchup kind of looked like he was struggling a little bit early on in the match, getting faked out and a little bit of miscommunication coming out from Kaio and Steel with him, but able to come up big for that game 1 win right there to seal it in overtime. As here he is now, taking to the sky, putting it off the backboard, and Kyle's going to follow it up, and again, he's going to have a standout performance to start this one off.
Yeah, Kaio reverses into that ball, pops up the Case. Case puts it off the backboard and down, and then Kaio just slots it into the open net. Overall, just a good awareness and coordination from the team.
Yeah, and a good kickoff. It's going to put Arrival on the back foot. Once again, shot on, but Kaio missing his mark again. A slow roller. As again, another poor clear, and they're just pounding the shots in, but again, the accuracy is just not there. They could easily be sitting at 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, really, I think they just need to take their time on these shots and just focus on accuracy over just slamming as hard as they can. But again, we see Case. He's been doing some training packs recently because he's slotting these in all the top corners of the net.
Yeah, definitely a great shot coming out from Case, but the big play right there was the bump in the net, sending Houdini flying into the middle of the field to wipe away that final defender for Arrival. And they will get the 2-0 lead they should have secured earlier in this opening minute. And again, off the kickoff, they're stuck on defense, looking for another bump there. As honestly, this whole Arrival defense is in disarray. So they're looking to get out here as now Kaio bumps Steel. Will looking for the clear. As Steel gets a soft touch over the middle. Case there setting another good one on net, but merely lofting it above his own net, and will get bailed out from his teammate. But again, Arrival, it seems like they've just been stuck in their half the whole game.
Yeah, it feels like Arrival's just playing in slow-mo opposed to Gravelords, who are just playing so much faster. It just seems like every time Arrival have a chance to take possession, they just aren't going as fast as they want to be or even should be at this level, while we're seeing Gravelords really take over the game and control the pace.
There's another counterattack coming out, and merely he can't get back in time, as Case is going to score another one. And a little bit of lapse in judgment again for the Arrival rotation. And they're honestly just in shambles, and it kind of comes to kickoffs. Every single kickoff has gone in Gravelord's favor. How will this one fare? So it actually goes straight up. But once again, Gravelord's the first to pounce on these balls. And Arrival, they're just the slower team at the moment, unfortunately.
I mean, look at that shot from Kaio. Right now, you could just tell that the entire Gravelords offense is just extremely confident. They're having fun with this. They're starting to style a little bit. At this point, I don't see a comeback from Arrival unless they really change things up.
Yeah, I'd say they're going to be hard-pressed to try and find a comeback in this game, too. Definitely possible with 3 minutes left, but Momentum definitely heavy in the Gravelords' favor as another opportunity with the clear will come out to the corner. And I don't even know if Merely had any boost right there, but he basically would have had to pre-jump that shot coming out from Kaio. But a great play coming out from him, and he's sitting at 3 goals in this game too.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing a really big performance from Kyle, and can't also look away from Case either. Both players are really stepping up, and like those two are. I'm afraid to see Case when he's actually in the rival league. He's only going to get better, and he's already taking control of an entire rival game. But speaking of taking control, look at Kyle. He's just unstoppable right now.
Yeah, and honestly, the shots coming out for Gravelords are quality. A lot of them are top left, top right, top shelf, anywhere they put them. But the common denominator here for Arrival is that their defense is they're just not there. Off the kickoff, another one almost going in. But the defense is just not there in Arrival. They're just looking sluggish at the moment. I mean, morale definitely is probably hit for sure at this point, 5-0. But Arrival is one of the weaker teams in our rival league. They just found their first win actually with Rockerman subbing up from Challenger as well. So the Arrival roster a little bit in shambles itself heading into this game. But they're going to have to look towards game 3 at this point as Case will find another one. The 6-0 dominating lead.
Yeah, and we're just seeing a really good performance from Gravelords. And at this point, I can't even imagine being a rival. They only have one shot opposed to a whopping 18 coming from the Gravelords. And we still have a minute and a half left.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it is a mauled fest for Arrival at the moment. And the chemistry perhaps just not there on this Arrival squad. It seems like Houdini's been the best player on the roster at the moment, as there he is finding a clear in front of the net. But certainly at this point, they're looking at game 3 to try and find some sort of comeback. And I mean, I'm not even sure what they do, honestly, at this point. They're going to have to get their defense in order for sure, but Gravelords, they're looking hot, and you got any tips for the Arrival players as a 7th one's going to go in?
It just took all 3 of them to commit on offense to get a shot. Like, at this point, I think they just need to do whatever they can to get 1 goal. They already lost this game. It's impossible to come back from this. If any team were to come back from this, that would be the greatest comeback in Rocket League history. So if they want to be able to bring the series back and hope for a reverse sweep, I think they just have to start off with a goal, or even just having a couple shots in a row, just feel what it's like to be on offense. But until then, I think it's pretty much wraps for them.
Yeah, and Rockerman saying in chat that they did sweep Vortex with him subbing up from Challenger, so... And Gravelords with a Challenger sub up of their own with Case. And... I just don't know what to say at this point. I mean, they're just not playing well, unfortunately, as... They're not even playing down to their opponent, they're just getting beat at the moment, and this may be a Nemesis record, but we got 22 shots on tap for the Gravelords right now.
And hey, we might see 1 or 2 more, but looks like the ball's in the midfield for almost longer than it's been all game, the last couple of seconds, so maybe a sign, like, if there is going to be any.
And
wow.
They were able to sweep Venganza, who's not really a slouch of a team either in the rival league. They got Chipmunk, they got Casper. I'm not sure who they had before, but they did drop them, trading again for the interesting trade of Bubs to get back on the roster. But able to take down a quality team in Vortex with Rockerman subbing up, so surely they should be having more of a performance here against Gravelords, excuse me, with a Challenger sub up of their own, and the performance is just not there right now.
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to be just a lack of communication or maybe a lack of synergy because I do know that they just picked up Houdini today, I believe, and maybe that's like a big factor is they don't know how to play with each other.
I mean, it definitely
And
seems that way. The chemistry not there, and I mean, they may have just picked up Houdini, but I think he's the only one who scored a goal for a rival in this series, and he's made a few good saves on defense, and they may have just picked him up, but he's looking to be the most productive on the roster so far. Merely one of the lower MMR rated players on Arrival, technically sub MMR, but he has been a starter for the most part this season, along with Will, and chemistry just hasn't worked out between the roster, I guess. But Game 3 is a new game, and they could very well try and make a comeback in this series starting now.
yeah, I mean, we're seeing some defensive passes already to the corner. Still in shambles, but that net is open. If Murley can score, and he does. I mean, hey, this is the first time we've seen them score the ball in a while, much less, I think this might be the first time they've taken the lead in the series.
Yeah, I think they did take the lead with the fake in Game 1 as well, but
Oh, you are right.
the Gravelords defense a little clustered there in the midfield, and then the Will just charging it in, getting that demo, and Case couldn't really see through the smoke, which allowed Merely to take it easily past him. But, I mean, either way, a good way to start the momentum here after that debilitating loss, as Merely with the pre-flip, almost sending that one on. Almost a good play coming out to secure a 2-0 lead. But either way, a good way to start is Houdini looking for more bumps in front of the Gravelords net. Opportunity for Case with the slow pop, but easily getting dunked out. This is already, I don't know if there was a pep talk in between Game 2, Game 3, but this Arrival rotation is already looking way more clean. As I say that, there is a scuffle in front of the net, and Will, I think, just own gold. Excuse me, Caster's Curse, I just complimented them.
Yeah, good 50 to take on Kaio's end, but Will, I think he thought someone was closer to the ball or was getting challenged, so he tried to hit it off the backboard and instead just put it in his net and own goaled it. Now we're tied.
Yeah, I think merely he was a little awkward on that back roll. I think he was expecting Houdini to take it from him, as he didn't really have much of a play, and the ball ultimately just getting sent straight back out to the middle, and Will, kind of trying to make a desperation save, ended up putting it in his own net. But still hanging in this game, as Merely gets an unfortunate touch in the corner, but Will racing in to shut down the opportunity. But again, a lapse of judgment in the Arrival rotation is going to allow an open net to come through.
Yeah, we saw Merely just turn around to go for boost and leaves his net entirely open. We also saw Houdini, instead of staying back post, he tries to cheat up to get the infield pass mid or receive the 50 if it went mid. So both players drove away from net, resulting in an open one.
Yeah, I was going to comment on that. Originally, it does look like the fault was to Merely, but Houdini equally to blame right there, as both players just leaving expecting Will to get a much better 50 than he did, although Merely there with the shot, couldn't find it, but easy rebound for Houdini to tie it back up at 2-2, and kind of an interesting Game 3 here.
Yeah, it's
Pressure's
a
little
lot
strange. It's sus.
Yeah, neither team's taking control of the game or really controlling the midfield. It just feels like the ball's just finding its way into the net in really weird ways.
Yeah, and neither team able to find any sort of semblance on offense, just kind of back and forth, scrappy midfield play. As Steele is going to 50 out the whole team from Arrival, leaving the ball in front of the net. Case trying to get a revenge fake of his own.
Oh, we might see something flashing from Kaya.
He tried. He may have been better off just going for the pre-jump pass over to Steele, who was already up early. Air dribble might have been a better attempt there, and they will get punished for it. Maybe trying to style a little bit too hard. and Arrival will take the lead again.
Yeah, definitely a major lapse of judgment from Kaio. Like, maybe he felt confident he could hit no matter what, but end of the day, his flip reset resulted in a goal on his team and maybe even the match if things slow down.
Yeah, I mean, either way, it seems like Gravelords are kind of just messing around at this point, trying to just pull off some strange, wacky plays. As honestly, the defense from them has been a little sus in this game, but definitely Arrival playing more solid than they were game 1, game 2. But honestly, anything is an improvement after that game 2 8-0 beating. Is the infield coming out, but Houdini will shut that down. Steele looking for the pinch. May have been on net, but Will shutting it down as well. And again, Houdini just leaves the net, and all 3 goals for Gravelords are just open nets.
Merely gets beat to the ball, and Houdini's just nowhere to be found. I think he was trying to get boost.
He went for the boost when he already had 100 boost.
Yeah, that's definitely a lapse of judgment. I think that might be something they are gonna have to go over in scrims or in replay review is knowing when to stay in net and when they can get boost.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be pretty confident that a roster move will be made after this series for Arrival if they lose. I don't think the boys are too happy on this roster at the moment. But as it stands right now, contenders for this game 3, as it is tied up. Gravelords, they're only able to notch up 3 shots so far. They are 3 for 3, but definitely not the offensive showing we've seen the past 2 games, as Case is continuing, the Challenger League sub-up is continuing to pop off in this series.
I mean, with stats like these, if he gets these types of stats both days, he could be the rival player of the week. 3 goals, 4 shots. Last series, he had, I believe, 3 assists, 2 goals. He's really doing something else in this rivalry game.
Yeah, I mean, they just played. Steele's going to send in another quick one. They're not messing around anymore. They want to shut down this series for the 3-0. But Case, he was just playing on the race against Rockerman's team Ascension, and that series went in a 3-1 fashion for the Wraiths, and now Case could easily show up with a sweep in Rival League, which is no slouch of an accomplishment right there, as Will coming up with the excuses in chat. I mean, ultimately, responsibilities need to be made, but gotta show up when it matters most.
So the best players can really pop off no matter what. You look at pro players, they may have off days, but even their off days, they're still like a level above the average, even 2K or ranked grinder. So
I will
really
say,
no
I did get 2 hours. I got 2 hours of sleep myself. I was looking at the stock market all night. I almost pulled an all-nighter. I had to take a little bit of a nap before the series, and then ultimately my team ended up getting 2v3'd in game 4 anyway. So I guess my team is kind of shitters as well. But unfortunately for the rival, it's gonna be it's gonna be an ugly 3-0 defeat, unfortunately, as Gravelords with the sub up are gonna get an easy sweep here. Game 3 a little bit competitive, but still ultimately Gravelords, they're kind of just messing around. And once they decide to actually play, they put 3 goals on in quick succession. And the season is early, Magma. We're only 4 games in, so maybe a few roster moves could change up this Arrival roster. May have some hopes to sneak into playoffs, but at the moment they will be moving to 1-3 on the record.
Yeah, 1-3. It's definitely not how you want to start your season, but we've seen teams come from worse records to go further in the playoffs. And I definitely think that they still should have a little hope for the season because, hey, they kept it close with Gravelords' team, who Case clearly peaked, and overall, Gravelords seemed like a team to beat. And hey, maybe keeping it close with them means you are able to keep it close with any team in the league.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think Gravelords have had 2 Game 5 victories, so they weren't playing with their main lineup today, but definitely looking to be at the top 4 of Rival for sure. And I mean, I don't know about you, Magma. You were in Rival League last season. I don't know if you've been paying attention to the rosters too much, but at the moment, my top 4 for Rival is going to be Pineapples, Gravelords, Rival, and Vortex and Hydra.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely agree with you with those. All 4 of those teams they definitely seem to be a bit of a cut above the rest, and especially really I'm excited to see Drake's play more, and I'm really excited to watch Vortex and Pineapples play on stream.
Yeah, that is going to be coming up next. And Pineapples, they lose the star player in Bubs. The interesting rival drama continues as now Bubs has changed rosters twice, back on his original team on Vortex. So a little bit of a grudge match, not so much of a grudge match according to Rival General, but either way, we're going to be having that one coming up next after the break, and that should be a banger of a matchup. And we'll catch you guys then.